Hey everyone, this is Pooka with another video for Pokemon TCG Online. This time I have my trusty Ho-Oh deck. Now, Ho-Oh, I don't believe it's too competitive, but you know, I have not been very fortunate with my pulls from packs, and as such, the only playable EXs I got were Ho-Ohs. And trust me, I have 4 of them, so I have Ho-Ohs. So right now I'm going to try this deck out once again. I'm going to drop my catcher and the grass energy. I'm actually going to be able to get 2 Ho-Ohs in the discard pile, which is pretty big on the first turn. This is the biggest hurdle with the deck by far. So I'll get 1 Ho-Oh, Ultra Ball. I have to drop 2 catchers this turn, which is not cool, but it's just kind of what my hand is. Nothing I can do about it. Have another Ho-Oh. Might as well play the Eviolite on here. And then Juniper. Looks like I'm not going to be able to pull off any fancy turn 1 wins, which is what I was hoping for. But at the very least, I can drop down a Mewtwo with an energy. And I will pass my turn. So at this point, I don't really know what to do against an electric deck because it's actually a pretty bad matchup for me. They are pretty strong. Ho-Oh is not that good because it has 160 hit points. This deck just can't really compete with a constant stream of Zekroms and even Mewtwo's, or Rayquaza especially. But, you know, if I can put enough pressure on early on, maybe get some more energy in the discard pile, and start to use Rainbow Burn quickly, who knows what can happen. Right now my opponent is going for the Thunder Wave, so maybe I'll be okay, but he gets a heads, so maybe not. At this point, I have a weird decision. Let's see, there's 1 grass in there. I'm just going to go ahead and attach to the Tornadus EX, I suppose. I could drop down the other Mewtwo. If I want to get into Mewtwo Wars, I might as well. I don't have much else going for me. So I'm going to N, hope for a switch or something. But I get absolutely nothing. And once again, I'm going to end my turn. So the whole point of this deck is to be quick, catch my opponent off guard with quick Rainbow Burns, but that certainly is not happening right here, as you can see. I don't have anything going, you just drop 2 electrics. Sage is training. Come on, man, that rotated out. And the worst part is I have this Tornadus EX, who happens to be weak to lightning. And let's see, 2+ powers and an Eviolite, so okay, there's Raikou. That's not going to be fun for me to deal with. So now I have to decide, do I actually want to waste a catcher here? And I don't think I actually do. So I'm just going to retreat to Mewtwo and make the best of it with X-Ball. Yeah, it doesn't look like my opponent had much. So it would take a lot for him to respond with a Mewtwo knockout, which is why I'm so comfortable doing this. I don't want to Juniper away my 3rd catcher. I'm going to need those to win this game. So I just wanted to hold on to that. Looks like there's a blank card there. That's weird. I don't know what that is. Never seen that before. But I will find out, I guess. Maybe it's just a glitch. Anyway, looks like all he has is Raikou, and he's gonna catcher up my Mewtwo. Interesting choice, I guess, because it is a 2 retreat cost. Makes plenty of sense. I do draw a switch though, so I am okay with this. He also didn't Dynamotor, I don't believe, so maybe he's a little nervous right now. So yeah, I'm going to catcher an Electric this turn. I think I have to. I'm going to play a switch. I can actually side drive this turn, which is what I'm going to have to do. So I'm going to switch to Mewtwo, Juniper, or 7. Can drop down a Sigilyph, he's pretty safe. Now I can start to use, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different types in there. So yeah, I can go ahead and start using Rebirth If I get heads, I get it back with 3 different energy types, which is what happens here. Grab that. Lightning is already on my Mewtwo, so that's one I definitely want to grab, and I think there's a fire on my Mewtwo as well. But we'll just grab a grass. And I'm actually going to use Side Drive, not the attack you usually see with Mewtwo. But in this case, we gotta do it. We're gonna knock out an Electric, completely worth it, and it makes it tougher for him to use an X-Ball to knock me out. Now right now, I'm in an okay position. I don't really have a plan on how to win the rest of the game, though, with all of my catchers gone, pretty much. I have 1 left. And, yeah, I mean, I just have a bunch of EXs on my field. That Tornadus is going to be a target eventually. If he can start getting Mewtwo's out, I might be in trouble. I actually do want him to go Mewtwo at this point, though. That's going to make it the easiest for me to actually win the game, because it'll take the least amount of resources for me to win. So I'm actually kind of hoping he goes for Mewtwo. If he doesn't, I might be in some trouble. Got another Sage's Training. So we're going to wait to see what happens with that. 2 Lightning hit the discard. There's another Dynamo. But does he have a Mewtwo? If not, he really can't do much this turn besides Thunder Fang. And I don't think that's the place you want to be in right now. So what's my opponent going to do next? Hard to tell. You know, a lot of people don't have Black and White on decks yet, so they keep playing stuff like that Sage. It's kind of scary to see. You know, you never know if they're going to drop a Junk Arm out of nowhere and just plus power you like 4 times with Junk Arms. That's not cool. It does happen, though. And right now... Alright, he will go for the Thunder Fang. That's okay. And I'm going to have to Ultra Ball here. Let's see, I can only do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 120 at the most. Not worth dropping that double colorless on the active, though. So let's Ultra Ball. We'll dump Random Receiver and a Fighting. I actually do want to keep a Psychic just in case. And I'm going to grab a Terrakion. Is going to be my way to deal with all of this stuff. And I don't really need anything else this turn. I could N, but I'm just going to wait until he takes a knockout. Could Random Receiver. I don't really need to waste resources right now doing that. So I'm just going to X-Ball for 80. And I'm going to be happy with that. Okay, so a lot of what happens in the next few turns will depend on what my opponent decides to do. This, of course, is the biggest target. It's going to give up 2 prizes at some point. It's going to hang to a catcher. It's weak to Lightning. Nothing I can do about it. I started with it. That's just the risk you take with the EXs. Sometimes you just have one that's weak to your opponent's deck, and it's going to take... Well, it's going to get knocked out, and they will take 2 prizes. That's the danger of running stuff like Shaman EX, Tornadus EX, blah blah blah. Oh well, it happens. But will my opponent actually be able to do anything this turn? Believe it or not, my Ho-Oh deck has an extremely good record. And this might be why. A lot of the time my opponent just doesn't get anything. And it always seems to be when I use this deck. Now there are 2 Zekroms. Like I said before, there's no good way for me to deal with just like a stream of these Zekroms coming at me. So this is pretty scary, honestly. And he's going to be able to Volt Bolt. But what's he going to hit? He could target down my active. Yeah, I guess that's what he's going to go for. It's not really the best option. Now I'm just going to Side Drive, I think. I'm okay with getting knocked out, I think. I could just retreat the Ho-Oh, but I think I'm just going to Side Drive at this point. Might as well. And I'll use my N because it's not going to be useful at any other point. Okay. And from here, I just have to take 2 more prizes. So it's looking up. I never thought I'd use Side Drive twice in a game. But it has just happened. I realized right now that I didn't have to discard a Psychic Energy the first time I did it. For some reason I thought I did. But you don't. You can discard any type. Side Drive is the unforgotten attack of Mewtwo. but it is there. It is useful sometimes. So here comes Zekrom. Really, I'm just going to be banking on Terrakion to finish this game out for me. I don't have any other choice. So let's see if he can pull out the magic. Otherwise, I'm going to be in some trouble. Yeah, that's all there is to it. I'm going to get Bolt Strike this turn, I think. Actually, let's see, 130. Yeah, I'm going to get Bolt Strike, otherwise I won't be knocked out. And next turn I'm just going to retaliate. I think. Oh, there's an N. Okay, this is where I can get into some trouble. But I do draw a fighting and a double colorless. So let's see. Yeah, I'm definitely going to... Well, I can Rainbow Burn or Retaliate. I think I'm going to Retaliate just because he's used a couple plus powers already. And if he uses the plus power, I then get to knock him out with either Rainbow Burn or X-Ball. So let's see, I can use another Rebirth here. Definitely want to do that. We get a Heads. Alright, so I'll take a Psychic back. And a Fighting. And it looks like a Fire as well. So right here I get to retaliate for a big 180. And if my opponent just attacks into this, doesn't knock it out, I just attach and win. If he Bolt Strikes... if he Bolt Strikes without a plus power, I just attach and win. If he catches something else and attacks, I just retaliate and win. So really he needs like an Eviolite and a plus power to have a shot at surviving this turn. Otherwise this is going to be game over. And I will be victorious and celebrate another victory with my Ho-Oh deck. Really, this is the only way I managed to win with this deck, where my opponent just does not get anything going, and somehow my random mix of attackers comes out on top. That's really the only way I can describe this deck. So there is an energy. Will there be a plus power with it? Or will I attach and win the game? This is going to decide a lot. I could still lose to stuff like N. Oh, that's a Charon though. Unfortunately for my opponent. That is not going to disrupt my hand. He's probably hoping for an N. Then maybe I could have drawn no energy. That'd be pretty unlikely. I have a ton of energy left. I play 4 energy switch in this deck. I play 4 switch as well. But switch wouldn't have done anything. 4 energy switch and like 19 energy in this deck or something like that. So the odds of me not having an energy this turn are slim to none. It looks like he had an enhanced hammer, if I see that correctly. Ooh, there's a junk arm. The only problem is if he plus powers and bolt strikes, I just Rainbow Burn for the win. Because he'll do 50 to himself, unless they didn't fix that glitch. That'll be a problem. So I would just send out Mewtwo then an X-Ball. So we'll see if they fixed the plus power glitch. Nope, they did not. So theoretically that could have cost me the game. But I have Mewtwo, and I drew a different type of energy anyway. And we're going to X-Ball, and Ho-Oh once again will be victorious. I really can't explain how this deck wins, but I have something like a 28-4 record with this deck. So clearly something is going right. And that is going to be the game, folks. Ho-Oh wins another one, and I just wanted to get a quick matchup here. Show a different type of deck off, because this is a new format. People are curious as to what can work in this format. So apparently Ho-Oh can work. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope this was enjoyable for everybody, and I will see you next time.